Great. Good evening, everybody. This is Seth, Head of Operations here at QUOINE. And this evening, I am joined by David Waslen from the Rublix project. And from tomorrow, we're going to be listing the RBLX token on the Cryptos exchange. Trading will begin from 9 a.m. Singapore time. Yeah, where RBLX will be trading against Bitcoin and Ethereum. And first off, let me say, David, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, Seth. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great. So, I've gotten to know the project over the past couple of weeks and really learned about what you guys are doing. But before we get into the RBLX token and the problems you're solving, first I'd like to know a little bit more about yourself, your background, and kind of what led up to getting involved in blockchain.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm from Canada, born and raised, and a fair number of our team are from Canada. And my background is from finance. I did some investment banking and merchant banking and some private equity, and that's been primarily my training. So I come from more or less managing businesses, managing startups, and coming from that side of the table. And now I'm on the other side where I'm operating it from within. And in our team are a bunch of coders, developers, and traders. And I kind of met my partner Pete a couple years ago, and we came up with this concept for Rublix and Hedge, which we'll get into. But yeah, he also got me into the crypto side of things a couple years ago. And once you go down that rabbit hole, it's hard to leave. So I've been involved for years, and so far so good.
So can you remember your first Bitcoin transaction?
Yes, I can. Sometime last year, early last year, I was just exploring and dabbling and, taking that leap and making the transaction, going for it, and, started dabbling with small amounts, and then as it worked and everything, so, the rest is history. But yeah, I haven't been doing too much of that lately, but really focused on this project over the past several months.
So, so let's talk about RBLX. First off, tell me about the problem that this token and the ecosystem that you're building is trying to solve.
So the idea came from myself and my partner Pete. And Pete is a trader and a developer, and he was doing really well with his options trading in traditional markets and some trading in cryptocurrencies. And he said, things are going pretty well, and I'm telling my friends about what I'm trading and how well it's going. And what might be nice is if I could just build a site where I post my buy and sell positions, and people could subscribe to this site, and they know me and they trust me, and they can watch me trade on a day-to-day basis. Because what we've found is there's a lot of trading information online, and people post trades on Twitter or social trading platforms, but it's hard to know what's credible and what's not. And sometimes people can delete their tweets or delete something if they were inaccurate with their predictions. And so what we came up with was the concept for Hedge, which I can go into as much detail as we can here. But it's a platform where traders will post their trading predictions into what we call a blueprint. And this blueprint is built as a smart contract, which will be posted on chain. So once a trader posts this blueprint, it'll be permanent and immutable, and you can't take it down. And then the track record will be visible to everybody after their prediction has expired or come to a correct or incorrect position. And then users can follow traders that have a great track record and follow them and gain access to their predictions. So that's, in a nutshell, what we're trying to solve is creating more transparency and credibility and accountability for trading predictions.
Right. So I guess what my follow-up question here is why the blockchain? And I think you've already answered it, which is blockchain creates this immutable record that's permanent, that can be audited, and really lends itself when you're talking about trying to find a source of truth. Whereas I know when we talked before, you talked about how some traders, they'll post both predictions on Twitter, and then they'll just delete the one that didn't come true, right? You can't really get away with that on blockchain.
Yeah, that's right. And the way our hedge platform works is a trader has to stake the Rublix token in order to
Right,
boost one of these blueprints. And so if they get it wrong, they're going to lose the tokens. And
right.
if they get it right, then they'll get those tokens back. And then any user that reviews a trader's history, sees that they're pretty good, likes what they're trading, whatever asset class it is, cryptos or stocks, options, anything. Um, if a user sees a track record and a trader with a good reputation,
Hmm.
trader posts one of these blueprints, it's initially hidden and you can't see what they're predicting.
Got it.
Once you purchase it using our Rublix token, it unlocks, and then you can see what this prediction is. It's, oh, I think the Tesla stock is going up by 10% in 5 days, or I think Litecoin is going up by 8% in 3 days. So once you unlock the prediction with the Rublix token by purchasing it, then the trader will receive those tokens if he's correct with the prediction, and the tokens will be returned to the user if he's incorrect with the prediction. So that is built in the smart contract code. So what
Mhm.
the platform does is incentivizes traders to provide high quality information so that they receive the tokens as a reward and get a higher ranking on our platform hedge, and they get one of these predictions correct on their profile posted on the blockchain, and the users are happy to contribute and pay for these predictions because then they
Right.
can learn from a sophisticated trader, and if the trader's incorrect they get them back anyway, so it's kind of a hedge for the users.
Right. And so I think one of the things that you've achieved here is you're enforcing good behavior in a sense, or at least good intentions by all the stakeholders in the ecosystem, because the traders are incented to put out their best analysis, because if they're wrong, they essentially have skin in the game. They can lose something here, right?
That's right. And and it and it breaks away from what we call noise and too many bad predictions and noise in the internet, because every prediction that you post on the hedge platform you'll stake tokens, and then your ranking will go down, and you'll continue to erode if you're not providing good information, and no one will follow you if you don't have a good ranking. So yeah, it's kind of a win-win situation where the trader does well and performs well, they'll be rewarded, and the users are happy to contribute to that trader because they can learn some insightful information.
So I want to go a little bit deeper into exactly how the blueprints work. Um, so if someone is looking at a trader's predictions and it's the past predictions, can they see at a granular detail exactly what they said? They said, well, the price of Apple will be over 250 by, April 10th. And they made that prediction, let's say in, August of last year, right? So can they actually see that level, or do they simply see the rate of success?
No, that's they do see that granularity. Um, when they post the blueprint, that'll be at a certain point in time. So the smart contract will be able to source the pricing data and have that as the time zero price. And then they will select an end point to end their prediction. So 5 days, 10 days, 30, or whatever.
Okay.
And then they will predict what price they think the asset or underlying security is going to become in that date range. And then once it has expired, then that'll be posted on their profile and visible for everyone so that they know the start, the end, and where the price, whether it hit their prediction or not, and how close
Mhm.
it became. So yeah, you'll be able to do very good granular detailed analysis into these predictions and
Great.
their their reputations. Yeah.
So, how are you solving the problem of the referential data or the oracle that the smart contract is using to determine the accuracy of the prediction?
Yeah, so we are sourcing data from multiple data feeds. So we want to have a consensus or multiple platforms that will gather that data. And we've built the hedge platform initially on the Ethereum chain and using their Ethereum Solidity smart contracts. And some of the hindrances of their proof of work consensus model is the cost of fees and transaction fees. So what we're doing is going to take some of those computations off chain and use state channels and
Uh-huh.
use oracles to validate the data that off chain, and then bring back the consensus on chain so you can see the end result and see their performance. But we're also going further and planning to build our own chain with a totally different proof of authority and proof of stake hybrid consensus model, where we are going to have this data on chain and have the pricing data on chain and able to have access for it on chain rather than using off chain sources.
Okay, awesome. So that was kind of the next area I wanted to go into is about scalability. So as the amount of traders that come online and the number of predictions and the data sources that you need, what is your thoughts about scalability that the Ethereum protocol will be able to support a growing Rublix ecosystem?
Yeah, so you know, no, typical smart contracts on Ethereum, such as an ICO smart contract or just sending tokens from one wallet to another, they're not too complex. On our platform, the hedge smart contracts have a lot more code and computations that are needed to
Sure.
validate the smart contract. So that being said, it's costing a lot of gas fees, and so
Mhm.
we are going to use state channels to take some of those computations
Right.
off and calculate
Okay.
over there, and then bring them back. But we do have a vision of building our own chain and doing a token swap or working on our
Sure.
own chain to something with a lot more scalability.
Sure. So tell me about where you are, because I kind of know the answer here. We talked before this video actually, but tell me about, the MVP and when traders can actually start using start publishing their blueprints and people can start using the hedge tool.
Yeah. So the smart contracts, we've already written them, and our front end has been designed, and we have it is a bit too costly right now with Ethereum as mentioned. So in the next month or two, we're planning for the state channel solution to solve the problem of transaction costs. And we do have a vision that people will start to be able to test it and pilot it the next month or two. But right now, the code is on our GitHub, and it does work. So the tokens, already have an immediate use, but we're going to be launching another beta in the next month or two to actually test it out with beta users.
Fantastic. So what about partnerships? Where do you see, Rublix being able to partner with other, I don't know, either other blockchains or other, could you see, the blueprints being used for things like sporting events? Maybe people are interested in, what the results of the next hockey playoff series is going to look like. Where do you see the platform developing in the future?
Yeah, definitely. We are in the world of prediction markets, and we're starting with trading predictions. And the trading predictions are, cryptocurrencies, stocks, options, derivatives, any type of market. So we want to cater to a wide net of audience from that perspective. Um, but we think that, you know, we'd love to, as you and I have spoken, we plan to work with you guys and integrate with your platform so that if certain people learn of a trading prediction in a crypto, then we'd love
Hmm.
to integrate it directly to a token exchange platform where they could say, oh, hey, I like that prediction. This guy has a great ranking and reputation. He's been correct 10 times in a row. Maybe I'd like to execute that same trade as him, and have that directly linked into the token exchange where you can make that trade right after you get
Hmm.
information from a highly reputable trader. So we definitely want to go down that path. And then another area of partnerships is we we think this is going to be a really big data play. We're going to collect a lot of information about
Mm.
prediction markets and what people are looking at, what people are speculating on.
Hmm.
So we think there'll be a big data play to collect here. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, sky's the limit for it. But instead of going in too many directions with sports or politics or weather or other predictions, we're starting with trading for the crypto and non-crypto universes.
Right. And that's fantastic. So I know that's something that we're going to be working on together. I think the listing is probably just the start of the partnership, but right. I mean, I can't think of anything better than our users having access to high quality, proven predictions of other traders, and then being able to effect a trade directly onto the platform. It sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
So, what is if you look out on your roadmap, what are some of the next really key milestones in the project?
So we never had an ICO.
Hmm.
It wasn't in our business plan strategy. We,
Right.
you know, there's a lot of different models out there, ways of doing the ICO and raising capital, and we didn't really agree with a lot of them. We wanted to take a more methodical approach. We raised capital privately, and we didn't need a huge war chest of capital on day one. We planned to build our product, get some traction, release it to the market, create some awareness and some user base, and distribute our tokens and create that volume and demand, and do it that way. So we're really excited to partner with you guys and launch on your exchange tomorrow, because we haven't had an ICO, and this will be the first public release and access to the Rublix tokens. Um, but our core focus is definitely on development. It's been going
Mhm.
really great so far with the Hedge platform, and we're learning lots. We have some really great, talented developers and designers and programmers on our team. Um, so we're just going to be heads down on development and testing it out. But so far, so good. So that's really what our core focus is going to be.
So, and that's incredibly refreshing, right? That, first of all, your focus on the fact that you were able to raise funds from, your business associates, friends, family, I think shows that people have a lot of faith in the project, and your guys' focus on the product and getting something out to people is also another real reason why I'm excited to bring Rublix onto cryptos. I want to touch a little bit, if you could go a little bit more detail around your thinking of not doing an ICO. I think you touched on it a little bit, but I think it'd be really great to explain to the audience your approach about the capital raise. And yeah, I'll just turn it over to you.
Yeah, sure. Um, Coming from the finance background and raising capital and just being in the traditional venture capital, private equity spaces, generally the model is, you have a business plan and a team, and then you raise some seed capital, and then you have funding for the next 6, 12, 18 months, whatever. And then as you hit milestones and develop and build, then you do a larger raise at a higher valuation. If things are going well, then you do a larger round after that at a higher valuation. And that's kind of where we think it's appropriate to raise capital, rather than just having a white paper, a team, a website, and a big marketing campaign and budget for that, and getting all the colloquial FOMO involved, and uh,
Hmm.
some funds before anything is built. We just we weren't about the money. We were about building and creating, and we think that there'll be plenty of upside for everybody if we can just keep our heads down, work hard, and plan to create a really great product that people will actually use. The Rublix token will be the gasoline in the engine here. Users are going to purchase the token to use it on the platform, gain access to these trading predictions. The traders can earn tokens for good performance, and they can cash them out and recycle it back to more users that want to play the game and participate in the platform. And that's the vision that we have, is creating this ecosystem where it goes around and people gain value from every side. It's win-win for everybody.
Fantastic. Kind of an old school mentality to a new technology. I'm a big fan. Dave, I want to thank you very much for taking the time tonight. We're very excited to be working with you and have you have the Rublix token trading on our platform from tomorrow. So it's ticker RBLX. We will see it starting trading tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Singapore time. And we are glad that we could be part of your blockchain journey here, David.
Thanks, Seth. Thanks to you guys in the QUOINE team. Really happy to be working with you and partnering with you. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. Thanks a lot for everything.
Great. Thanks, David. Good night.
Talk to you soon. Bye.